This month marks the 45th anniversary of Kamen Rider, which premiered on April 3rd, 1971 in Japan. A lot of Westerners probably don't know what Kamen Rider is. It's a Power Rangers type show. Only 2 seasons aired in America, one in 1995, bombed. They tried to reboot it in 2009 and that bombed too, so we're probably not going to get another season for many years if we get any. But the series has thrived in Japan. There's over 20 series, different seasons, spin-offs, there's movies. It is crazy. It's more of a singular kind of thing. It's not like there's only one Kamen Rider per series, but sometimes there's multiples. But it is kind of more focused than just like Power Rangers or Sentai as it is in Japan. It is on a different theme. Now, I don't know a lot about the series. My friend Shay, who you've heard here on the podcasts and video shows before, he loves it. So, in dedication to him and in celebration of the 45th anniversary, I'm going to be looking at some video games. So let's get right to it. The first game that I was able to find for the NES was Kamen Rider Club in 1988. Now, it's a very cutesy game. It's a platformer. It's very charming, but boy oh boy does it suck to play. It's really hard to control. Sometimes you get stuck in the environments, but it's basically a platformer smashed with an RPG. If you hit enemies just right, you can kill them, but if you kind of jump into them, it turns into this weird pushy, shovey, turn-based battle system. Or not really turn-based, more like I said, pushy, shovey until the other person dies. It is janky as hell, but, you know, a lot of NES games based on licenses kind of were. Next, we have Kamen Rider SD Grand Shocker no Yabu for the NES in 1992. This one, I generally really have no idea what's going on. You select a region of Japan. It seems like a warlord type situation, and then you go around this board that looks like Monopoly, and then you randomly go into battles, and it looks like it's a turn-based thing, but it's like a race. It's like a turn-based race. You're going against the bad guys with other Kamen Riders. It is... I really don't know what's going on. I didn't really find any enjoyment just because I was so confused. Again, probably it was in Japanese, but even if I did know what was going on, just the races and everything, it's a weird combination of gameplay mechanics, and I really just didn't dig it. Here we have another Kamen Rider SD game. This one is Shutsengeki Rider Machine for the Game Boy, released in 1993. This one is a top-down black and white racer where you are racing against bad guys as the Kamen Rider, and then you can kick them. It is not very exciting, nothing really striking to me, but I do like the either sequel or just console version, which is Kamen Rider SD Heshire Mighty Riders. Beautiful little sprite graphics, the lovely little super deform, which is what SD really stands for in a lot of Japanese things. Just cutesy little riders and the bad guys, and you're kicking them and fighting them. It's pretty cool. The controls kind of fight back against you, which is not something that I generally like in my video games, but it is probably the most enjoyable game as of now. And that's about to change with Kamen Rider, released for the Super Nintendo in 1993. Same year. A big year for Kamen Rider, 3 games, holy cow. Anyway, this is a beat 'em up, something a little bit different and more straightforward. It is pretty good. It reminds me a lot of the Super Nintendo version of Power Rangers, both the movie and, you know, based on the show. Those 2 games were great. I rented them all the time. This reminds me of that. You fight as the normal hero, and then you can transform willingly against all these guys. I do like how you can actually see that they're in costumes, and it's really cheap, and it kind of captures that quality of the show where it's just kind of very cheesy. I guess that's how I take Kamen Rider. It's a very cheesy kind of show. I know they're trying a lot with some CG stuff, but man, it's hard to get into story-wise. Anyway, it is a good beat-em-up game, plus you can play with a friend. Now we're going to jump quite a bit to Kamen Rider V3 for the PS1 in 2000. Now, this is based off of what I have seen, based off of Kamen Rider V3, which is a series in the whole pantheon of all the Kamen Rider stuff. And it is a fighting game. It is a decent fighting game. It has some pretty cool kind of locks. You do some combos as you're trying to get out of stuff or trying to, like, as finishers. And some decent looking weird ass characters, which I always love in my fighting games. And yeah, I guess, you know, not bad as far as license-based fighting games go for the PS1, of which there are aplenty. Okay, now we're going to jump to another big gap into a crazy territory. We have Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, which released for the DS in 2009. This is the only Kamen Rider game to be released in America, and that's because this is the American season that I mentioned before that came out in 2009. It's an amalgamation that takes from various series and kind of combines into this one thing, just like they do in Power Rangers. It's not like one straight thing. I don't want to get into it. Shay's not here to talk about all the changes and all that stuff. Anyway, Dragon Knight. This is the only game we got, and I'm not sure if it released anywhere else, but yeah, came out in America, North America I should say, in the US, and it's a beat 'em up. You can play as various different riders, and you go on missions in a weird kind of menu-based thing. It's kind of like very, very short little snippets, which is very perfect for the portable. And I dig it. I generally like a lot of beat 'em ups. It's a very cool genre in my opinion, if they do it right. And in my opinion, I think it's a kind of a good RPG-ish brawler type thing, and it's not bad. And what's a good video game retrospective without a card-based game? Here we have Kamen Rider Battle Ganba Raid Card Battle Taisen, released for the DS in 2010. You are a kid and you fight your Kamen Riders based on cards that you put in this little deck kind of thing, and they fight against each other, kind of RPG-ish with like some slot things built in. Apparently this is like a real thing in Japan where kids can get tokens or cards and then go to these arcade machines and put their things in there, and this is based off the arcade machines coin op thing, but it's a game within a game within a game. Oh man, my head hurts just thinking about it. It is kind of cool. Again, one of those things where I wasn't exactly sure what I was choosing with some of my options, but it seems kind of interesting. I would rather go to Japan and kind of play one of these arcade experiences for myself to see, if that's really thrilling at all. But let's get back to those brawlers for just a sec with All Kamen Rider Rider Generation, released for the DS in 2011. This combines a lot of the riders together up to that current point in this series, and then all fighting together. You can choose multiple ones to basically play or have them play with you, and you're going through multiple missions, and it's a very cool pixel game on the DS. I do dig the kind of SD morphized riders, and it's pretty fun. Again, one of those things where I'm not sure what's going on, but it's fun just to kick the crap out of weird looking henchmen. And now let's go back to some fighting games with Kamen Rider Climax Heroes Forze for the PSP in 2011. This is another kind of combination of multiple generations of Kamen Rider during the current season, which I believe Forze is a seasoning if I remember some words said at me. But yeah, you fight different Kamen Rider and monsters, and it's a fighting game for the PSP. Graphics are interesting, gameplay is sound. I found it a little bit actually clunkier than the PSP one, or the PS1 V3, but hey, I'm not opposed to a fighting on my portable, so that's all I really gotta say on this one. It's not that it's really generic or bad, it's just, we're kind of getting to see the formula for all of these Kamen Rider games. So that said, let's end with a brawler with Kamen Rider Batride Ward, released for the PS3 in 2013. Actually, the third game in this series, just released for the PS4, Vita, and PS3, I believe. Anyway, it is basically a Dynasty Warriors clone, where you are playing multiple versions of Kamen Rider, fighting hordes and hordes of bad guys in the traditional style of Dynasty Warriors, where you're fighting bosses throughout or at the end, and you're hacking and slashing, and everyone has cool powers. And the one thing that it doesn't get right, that the Dynasty Warriors do get right, is co-op. For a brawler, co-op is a must. Now, it's not feasible sometimes to do it on a portable system, and understandably maybe in the older systems, but when you are basically copying one of the biggest sensations in Japan, and a moderate niche following in America, it is co-op. Co-op is what really binds those games together, and to not have it for the third entry is crazy. I mean, the first one, sure, the second one, okay, but the third one, come on, guys. That said, it's still cool. And real quickly, I want to mention that there are other Kamen Rider games, and there's actually platformers and other beat-em-ups and RPGs and dungeon crawlers and all kinds of games in this series called the Kampati Hero series, which combines Kamen Rider, Gundam, and Ultraman. I know it's a weird combo to have those three things together. Ultraman is the one thing that really throws me off, but also Gundam, because they're like chibi Gundams that don't have pilots. They're like, they have eyes, and it's very weird. And then they made their own hero, which kind of combines all of them. And there's so many games in the series, and I will do it justice later on in its own retrospective, because it is a massive, huge undertaking. But I just wanted to mention it because, you know, you can play Kamen Rider in all of those games, and you're seeing footage now of some of those things. So just a little taste and a tease kind of for an upcoming feature I will do at some point. But for now, I want to wish Kamen Rider a very happy 45th anniversary, even though I really don't know what's going on half the time.
Boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, ba-jack, boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, ba-jack, boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, ba-jack, boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, subscribe, boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, ba-jack, boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, ba-jack, boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, ba-jack, boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, subscribe.